Hello, you're highly welcome to another interesting lecture here. In this particular lecture and training, I'm going to give you 45 poultry and livestock feed cost reduction strategies. When we talk about strategies, we are talking about measures every poultry farmer can use to drop the feed cost. If you're a poultry farmer and you have been finding it difficult because of high cost of poultry feed or livestock feed, are you into feathered birds, turkey, geese, broilers, noilers, broilers, guinea fowl, or four-legged animals, goat, sheep, cow, cattle, and rest of them? This particular content is very interesting for you. I'm going to give you all the measures you can use to drop the cost of your feeding your livestock. So relax, let's go into it. If this is the first time of watching this particular content, I will gladly advise you to watch till the end. Make sure you don't skip any track because I'm giving you 45 feed reduction strategies, measures you can use to drop your poultry and livestock feeding costs. Poultry and livestock feed is a crucial aspect of animal husbandry that directly impacts the health, growth, and productivity of your birds or your livestock animals. Proper nutrition is very essential for maintaining optimal health of your poultry and livestock animals, at the same time giving you maximum profit. To reduce the cost of feeding your poultry and livestock animals and to maximize your profit as a poultry farmer, you can employ various strategies. These include sourcing feed ingredients locally or using byproduct or waste from your kitchen or from your household or any other measure you think or you deem fit that is necessary for you to use to make sure you maximize your profit. Don't worry, I've got you covered in this particular content. I will gladly advise you now, if this is your first time of coming across this particular channel, look for the subscribe button. Tap subscribe immediately. Tap notification bell so that anytime I release an interesting topic like this, you will be among the first set. This our wonderful app will invite to watch or to notify you to watch this content. Having done that, I thank you for being part of us, and I thank all my viewers wherever you are, both returning viewers and returning subscribers. You're all blessed. This is a very interesting educational content, and I will gladly advise you. Make sure you don't skip any track at all. Watch till the end. View till the end. This is the only way you can get the maximum benefit from this particular content. 45 strategies you can use to drop your poultry and livestock feed costs. How to drop your poultry and livestock feed costs. One is use local grain sourcing. Source your grains locally. Grains like maize, millet, corn, sorghum, guinea cow, all these minerals, vitamins, and protein source of grains or energy grains that will help you to produce your poultry feed. You know that the grains takes almost 60% of the entire raw materials used in producing poultry and livestock feed. Are you into aquaculture? Are you into four-legged animals? Or are you into feathered birds? It takes up to 60% or more than that. So sourcing them locally will help you to drop the feed cost, because if you go to most of the local markets, you find these raw materials very cheap because they harvest it from their own farm and they sell it at a very cheap rate to middlemen who increase the price before it gets to you. Another one is feed meal use. Incorporate seeds, meals like sunflower, cotton meal, or sesame meals. Most of all these feed ingredients are cheaper instead of using imported fish meal, which is very expensive as a source of protein. So when you use them, they are going to drop the feed cost. Another one, use fish meal alternatives. Replace expensive fish meals with cheaper protein sources like soya bean, groundnut cake, distillers dry grain, and others that will help you to drop the feed cost. You know that a kg of fish meal is very expensive. It's almost $2 or more than that. But a kg of soya bean is less than 50 cents. So that is going to help you to drop your feed cost also. Utilize local protein sources. Local protein. Use local protein sources such as groundnut cake, pancake cake, melon seed, bush melon, and other protein sources that I've taught you in some of my videos. Use them to drop the poultry feed cost, because most of all these raw materials are cheaper than the imported. Another one, minimize supplements. Focus on essential supplements and avoid unnecessary additives. Most of these additives are very expensive. A kg of lysine is more than $4, and you can see it's very expensive. Whereas most of these ingredients contains the lysine, methionine, and other additives in larger quantity. So use most of all those materials instead of buying the synthetic lysine and methionine. Going to help you to drop your feed cost also. Number 6 is natural boosters. Make use of natural boosters. Use cost-effective natural boosters like herbs and spices with health benefits. Most of these boosters are ginger, garlic, bitter leaf, scent leaf, and many of them that I've also used in some of my videos. They will help you to boost the immunity of your poultry birds than using synthetic. Another one is bulk buying. Purchase your feed ingredients in bulk to reduce per unit cost. This is going to help you because when you buy in bulk, remember that the transportation to convey one bag of corn from one region to another region may be almost, if not equivalent, to conveying 5 bags. So when you buy in bulk, you're going to reduce the cost of the logistics and at the same time the cost of your per head or per unit cost of that particular product. So buying in bulk will help you to reduce the cost also. On-farm feed production is very good. Most of the farmers that produce their own feed in their farm doesn't cry for this high cost of commercial feed. Some grow their own feed raw materials. So grow some of the feed ingredients on site to reduce reliance on commercial feed. So even if you rely on commercial feed, it should not be 100%. Another one, that is number 9, is alternative feeds. Use alternative supplements. Supplement commercial feed with kitchen scraps, crop residues, or grasses. Most of the waste from your kitchen can serve as an ingredient for producing your poultry and livestock feed. Most of these feed waste are like potato peas, yam peas, cassava peas, onions peas, and most of the bones from fish from other sources can help you to reduce the cost of feed. If you don't know how to formulate the feed, you learn how to formulate it and the inclusion rate of each of these materials. If you have not watched my video on that, you try and watch it. You see how to formulate feed using most of all these ingredients, most of this waste I mentioned here. Another one is number 10. Local foliage is very important. Like using cassava leaves, sweet potato vine, or maize stalks as forage can help you to reduce the cost of feeding your livestock. Do you know that I've released a video on the use of banana and plantain stems to drop the cost of your poultry feeding and at the same time cost of the livestock feeds? You can watch that video and at the same time you can make use of it, and it's going to help you to drop the feed cost also. Another one is feed mix optimization. Formulate feed to meet nutritional requirements without excess cost. The feed you produce in your own farm will help you to drop the feed cost because you are going to make sure you add all the nutritional requirements of that particular poultry or livestock animal you are producing the feed for. And at the same time, you will not waste anything. Number 12 is reduce waste. Waste have closed many farms. Many farms have been wasting their feed. Some don't even know the complete ration. They don't even know the quantity of feed each bird consumes per a day. This is a very good idea for you that will help you to reduce the cost of wasting, reduce your wastage in your poultry farm. Implement feed management practices to minimize waste and spoilage. Don't allow your feed to spoil. Don't buy what you cannot use within short period of time so that you will not have a lot of waste and a lot of damages. And that one is byproduct utilization. Use byproducts from food processing as feed ingredients. Most of these companies that use these ingredients as waste. Most of the companies produce oil, soy oil, meat oil, fish oil, and rest of them. After their production, most of their wastes are sold at a cheaper rate. If you buy it from them, it's going to help you to drop the feed cost also. Fermentation is another good one. Remember that when you ferment a feed, it adds a lot of nutritional value to that particular feed. So fermenting feed can improve digestibility and reduce the amount of feed needed. Number 15 is pelleting. When you pellet your feed, if you have the machines or the equipment to pellet it, it's good for you because that pelleting is going to arrange all the feed ingredients into one unit. So when the chicken or that particular livestock or that particular animal eats that particular feed, it's taking all the ingredients at the same time. It's different, entirely different from mash, entirely different from powdered feeds, because most of these powdered feeds you see the ingredients in different locations. Are you getting me clearly? Now, when you pellet your feed also, it's going to reduce waste, because even if that feed falls and mix up with the floor, with the beddings, the chicken or the livestock animal will still find it easy in from that particular spot, because they can see scrap and at the same time find them and pick them and at the same time eat them and convert them. But when they are in mash or in powdered form, they will mix completely and it will be difficult for them to locate it. So another one is selective breeding. Breed animals for improved feed conversion efficiency and growth rate. Don't stock any type of bird as a poultry farmer. Don't keep any type of animal as a farmer. Make sure you keep high yielding birds and high yielding animals. There are different species of birds. There are different breeds genetically modified to give you maximum growth at a very short period of time. Keep all those ones and it's going to help you to convert your feed and at the same time maximize your profit. Another one is feed additives. Use cost-effective feed additives like enzymes to improve nutrient utilization and conversion. 18. Local mineral sources is very important to help you to drop the feed cost. If you are in region where you have periwinkle, where you have snail shell, where you have all the aquatic shells and all this waste from crayfish and all this, use them instead of buying imported feed meals or imported fish meal. It's going to help you to drop the feed cost. These local mineral sources like limestone is going to also help you, because most of all these things are locally sourced. Some of you have it even in your region. You can even dig the limestone there and make use of them instead of buying it. So another one is community sourcing of feed is very good to help you to reduce the cost. When you source your feed in group, when you collaborate with other farmers or communities to source feed ingredients locally or collectively, it's going to help you to drop the feed cost also. When I mean collectivity, means all of you joining your resources together, each one knowing a quantity of feed you're going to buy, and you hire a very big truck to bring it down for you. It will help you to drop the feed cost. Number 20 is farm waste recycling. Recycle manures, crop residues into feed or fertilizers. Most of the waste from your farm can be converted to feed. Do you know that if you're into aquaculture, you're into fish farming, some of the waste from the poultry can be a feed source to your poultry feed? and to your aquaculture. Most of the raw materials, most of the waste, even from your poultry, can be converted to use and at the same time to drop the feed cost of your aquaculture or your fish farming. Most of the waste from the main chicken itself, like broilers, can be converted to feed to duck, geese, and guinea fowls, because most of all these are forage birds. They can eat garbages and convert it easily for you. Another one is energy efficiency. Use energy efficient equipment and practices to reduce operational costs. Number 22 is water management. Implement practices to reduce water usage and costs. It's going to help you to drop the feed cost also. Number 23 is precision feeding. Precision feeding ensure that animals receive the right amount of feed to reduce waste. Number 24 is biosecurity measures. Please, biosecurity is very important in your poultry feed. Prevent diseases to reduce the needed or to reduce expenses on medications. I always tell my subscribers and my viewers that once your poultry or livestock animal contact any disease or any infection, it's going to affect their growth and their productivity. No matter what you spend to take care of them, you will still find it difficult to make profit. Another one is local feed processing. Process feed locally to reduce transportation costs. Most of this transport cost is going to affect your production, and at the same time it's going to affect cost per unit of your poultry feed. So when you produce or you source your materials within your area, the cost of transporting your poultry birds or the cost of transporting your feed is going to be less because you are sourcing your materials in your locality. Another one is crop rotation. Use crop rotation. If you have very big farmlands, you can plant crops that can help you to grow your own feed raw materials in segments. Plant here this year, next year you plant here, the other year you plant, or different seasons, and it's going to help you. Make sure you do what? Use the internally generated manures to do what? Fortify their growth. Another one is integrated farming. Integrate poultry and livestock with crop production to utilize byproducts. Technology use is another one. If you have the resources, please buy equipment, buy machineries that will help you to produce your own feed. Even one grinding machine alone will help every poultry farmer to drop the cost of feed. Most of all these raw materials you can gather within your locality, within your kitchen. There is no other way you can convert them to feed without having a grinding machine. And if you take this to a very far place to grind or to prepare, it's going to cost you a lot. Whereas that same money can be converted. Use it to buy the equipment and use it to drop the feed cost also. And that one is seasonal planting. Seasonal planting and planning. Seasonal planting and planning is another one. Plan feed production based on seasonal availability and prices. Most of the raw materials are cheaper at some seasons. So buy them at that time. Stock them in a very good conducive environment so that to avoid decay, to avoid spoilage. Then make use of them the time that it is needed, and it's going to be very low because at that time many people will be looking for it and you have it already, and the time you buy them is at a very cheap rate. That's one. Number 30 is cost monitoring. Keep tracks of feed costs and adjust management practices. It will help you. Feed spoilage. Properly store feed to prevent spoilage. This is a very important. Many farmers buy in large quantity. Some even keep it in a way that rain will fall on them or when will drop on them and those feed will spoil. And once they are spoiled, it is going to cost you a lot. You are going to waste that particular money and it will be difficult for you to convert it to anything. Another one is cooperative buying. Buying or join or form a cooperative to purchase ingredients at lower price. Equipment sharing is another one. Share equipment with neighboring farms to reduce cost. If you know that this particular farm within your area has this equipment to produce this feed, you can easily take your material there, and it's going to be cheaper for you. Once they know you, producing feed in their farm will be cheaper for you. You only buy the raw materials. Most of them will even ask you for only the processing fee alone. Another one is alternative grazing. That is number 34. Alternative grazing is another one. Employ options like agroforest and silvopasture that will help you to reduce the cost. Local market research is good. Local markets for cost-effective ingredients and suppliers is very good. Most of the rural markets sell ingredients at a very cheap rate because most of them buy at a very cheap rate, and most of them even produce by themselves. So you see, when you are buying directly from the farmer, the cost of that raw material is going to be cheaper than when the thing have entered the market and start adding value and adding prices. And that one is training. It's very important. Training and education, like what we are undergoing here now. That's why I always advise you to watch the video till the end, because you don't know the particular point that will help you out. Training and education is very important. Stay informed about cost-saving practices and new technologies that is used in your section of your farming. When you are well educated, when you are well informed, most of all these practices will be easily for you. When you are knowledgeable about feed formulation, anything within your environment can form a feed in as much as you know the value, the nutritional value and nutritional component of that particular raw material. For us here, we have specialists in different sections, especially in animal nutrition. So we can use any raw material generated within our farm to produce feed, and it always helps us to drop the cost of feed because we are well informed and well educated in this particular aspect. So getting more knowledge and education is very important for you as a poultry and livestock farmer to drop the cost of your feeding of your poultry and livestock animals. Another one is utilize local weeds. That is why I have been able to arrange 3 different video content on weed. Weed in Africa, weed in Nigeria, and global. These weeds can help you to drop the feed cost. There are about 90 weeds that I have released. So if you watch all those content, it's going to help you to get to know the particular weed that will serve as protein source, the particular weed that will serve as energy source, and others. Using weed is very cheap. Most of these weed are even found in your, most of them you even pay people to weed them off from your farm. Most of them are at the back of your poultry farm. You can use your poultry droppings and add value to them, and at the same time make use of them to feed your poultry animals or livestock animals. Hear this very well. Silage making is very important. That's number 38. Preserve excess crops as silage for feeding during lean periods. Lean period is the time that you don't have excess. Lean period is the time there is scarcity. Lean period is the time that you have high cost of feed raw materials. So if you preserve them, it's going to help you at that particular time. Number 39 is homemade mineral mix. Create mineral mix using locally available ingredients. Number 40, rotational grazing. For most of you into 4-legged animals, graze your livestock on rotational basis. Move them from one location to another location while you are preserving the other location, and at the same time growing them for them to replace the other one. So it's always good, most especially even as a poultry farmer. If you have a very large area, you can allow your birds to move on free range and use most of all these grasses within the area and feed themselves, and at the same time you supplement their feed with little quantity of commercial or your own homemade feeds. It's going to help you to drop the cost of the feed also. Another one is compost manure. Turn manure into compost to improve soil fertility and reduce fertilizer costs. It's going to help you also. Another one is insect farming. If you're a poultry farmer and you don't know how to cultivate insects, you are lacking a lot. Insects will help you to feed any livestock animal, including aquaculture, fish farming. You can use the same poultry droppings and convert them to insect yielding materials. The same poultry droppings you throw away can be converted to yield maggot for you, which you can as well use to feed your poultry. Use it to feed their fish and other poultry and livestock animals. This maggot contains very high fat and protein. This is discussion for another day. Another one is aquaponics. Integrate aquaculture with hydroponics to produce fish and plant-based feeds. It is very important. It's going to help you also to drop the feed cost as a poultry and livestock farmer. Another one is forage crops. There are a lot of forage crops like legumes and grasses that can help you to reduce the cost of feed. You have to plant them within your area. Make use of herbs. So stop buying synthetic medications or reduce the cost of or the money you spend on synthetic medications. It's also going to help you to drop the feed cost also. Finally, local feed trials is very important. Now, what do you mean by local feed trials? Conduct trials using local available ingredients to formulate cost-effective poultry and livestock feeds. Now, if you're a poultry farmer, you help yourself by learning how to formulate your own feed. Know the nutritional value of all the local feed ingredients. It's going to help you. Know the protein sources, know the mineral sources, know the vitamin sources, and all that nutrient that is going to help you to drop the cost of your feeding your livestock animals. If you know them, formulating the feed will be easier for you, and minimizing the cost of your poultry is going to be very easy. Feeding your livestock will be a very cheap and easygoing activities in your farm, and at the same time it's going to help you to maximize your profit as a poultry farmer. I have concluded this particular content. It is an educative content. Please make sure you share it to educate more farmers that are in need of this particular content. Help them to gain the same knowledge you have gotten here. If you have found this video very interesting and educative, please give it a thumb up, and at the same time comment. Anything bothering you, is there any topic you did not understand clearly here, please drop it on the comment section. I will explain it more on the comment section. And if you have any of these grasses that you suspect can be a very good viable product or resources for you to reduce your feed cost, drop it on the comment section. I will tell you the nutritional value of that particular grass or that particular weed or that particular ingredient to help you also drop your feed cost. I'm always here for you. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Remain blessed till I come with another interesting topic loading very soon. Bye for now.